Welcome to this yoga stretch for when you've been traveling. You don't need any particular props for this practice, but if you do have access to a blanket or even a towel if you're at a hotel, if you would like to grab one of those, and if you're at home and have all of your regular props, your blocks, your blankets, please do go ahead and get those also. And we're going to begin standing. So coming up to the top of your mat. And we'll begin with our feet about hip distance apart, standing tall. We're going to circle the hands up and take a deep breath in. Look up towards them. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And go again. Circle up. And this time, as you circle up, lift up to your tiptoes. Reach up. Exhale, heels down and hands back to heart. Circle your hands up. So just connecting to a deep breath, lifting your heels up. Engage into the calf muscles, the lower legs. Exhale, hands down to heart, heels to the floor. And just one more of those. Circle up, lift up your heels. A little engagement in the lower legs. Hands to heart, heels to the floor. Now keeping your heels on the floor, circle your hands up and interlace both palms or both hands together. Press your palms up to the ceiling. Stretch them up, elevate your shoulders, and reach back a bit to stretch into the front of your body. Make sure you can still breathe. If you're holding your breath, dial out just a touch until you can breathe easily. You can come up fairly neutral in your spine, still palms facing up, and reach over to the right, so a side stretch. Come back up and reach over to the left. Just as far as feels good into the right side of your body, keeping your chest squared forwards, reaching the palms away. Come back up. Same again, reach the hands back, lift the ribs up out of your waist. Stretch all the way through your front. And come up and reach over to the right again. Your hips can move a bit to the left. And come on up and over to the left with your hands, to the right with your hips. And back up. Release your hands and fold forwards. And as you come down to your fold, bend your knees to let go of tension from your low back. So this in dangle pose, remember, is quite a generous bend so that abdomen and thighs come together. Just relax your neck. Take a deep breath. Slowly exhale, Ujjayi breathing. 2 more breaths here. Continue to relax your jaw and your face. And let's step the left foot back. Now this is where if you have a blanket or a towel, you can pop it underneath your knee for more comfort. And rise up, hands onto the right knee, low lunge. So hands both on top of the right knee, start to move forwards and down in your hips so that the left hip crease is moving forwards and down towards the floor, towards the right heel, and getting a good stretch through the front of your left leg. So if you've been traveling, usually sitting, whether it's in a car or on a train or on a plane, feeling that closed up in the front of the hip sensation. So this is opening that back up, and then start to straighten your arms and lift your chest also. We've got 2 more breaths here. Just moving into the pose on your exhales. And we'll shift this to hamstrings instead. Straighten out your right leg and place your left hip over the knee. Fold forwards. If you have access to blocks and your hamstrings are a little tighter, put your hands on your blocks at this point. Try to keep your spine neutral, not rounded. On your inhales, extend the chest forwards. On the exhale, explore the stretch. Well done, yogi. Come forwards into the front knee, and you're going to slide your left shin to behind your right heel and sit your way down onto the floor. So it's a modified variation of Lord of the Fishes. You can, if you wish, bring your right foot over the left thigh, but that's just up to you how you feel today. Sit up nice and tall. Wrap your left hand or elbow around your right knee and rotate to the right. Look all the way back past your right shoulder. And if you sometimes get a little bit of sciatic discomfort from tight muscles, continue to hug this knee across towards your shoulder, even lifting that right foot a little bit to help you with that. And that can help to just stretch out through the hip also, as well as the twist. Unwind and take it all the way to a counter twist for a moment, looking the left over to the left. And turn forwards. Stretch your right foot out at an angle, coming into janu sirsasana. So your left foot is tucked into your right thigh. Turn towards your left knee. Take your left hand up to the ceiling. And then start to stretch your left hand over the top towards your right foot. Use your right hand or forearm inside of your right leg to keep you looking upwards towards the ceiling with your chest. So rotating open rather than closing down to the floor. Really stretch through the left waist here. Use your exhales to explore the depth of the pose, and the inhales to create a little bit of space and lift. Fantastic, yogi. Come up. If your blanket's there, you might move it just off to the side. It may even help you in this pose if you want it under your hip. And we're going to roll over to the left side. Circle your right foot back behind you and lift your hips up so you end up in pigeon pose. Now, I know for some pigeon pose can be uncomfortable, and definitely don't want any pain in your knee. So if pigeon doesn't feel good, switch this to a lizard instead, okay? If you're okay with your foot tucked in, we're going to lift up the chest and again focus now on the front of your right leg, getting a stretch. Just a couple of breaths upright. Nice and proud up through the chest. The hips are descending equally. We're not slouching onto the outer left hip. We're not collapsing to the side. And as you exhale, you can bring your forearms down and come for a moment into sleeping pigeon. That can be forearms on the ground. It can be your head on your hands. And as I mentioned, just letting the hips descend equally, stretching into the left side. Slow your exhales down. Relax your shoulders. Fantastic, yogi. Come back up to your hands. And you're going to push into the hands, shorten the distance between the feet if that helps, and lift your left foot all the way up. Three-legged dog. Stretch that left leg out, and then bend your left knee and reach the knee high and foot over to the right. Three-legged dog. Sink your right heel towards the floor. Look towards your right toes also. Keep lifting your left knee up. And carefully release to downward facing dog. Bring your left foot back to the floor. And you can soften your knees, push your shoulders. Deep breath in. Heels descend a little on your exhale. And please walk up to your hands. Lift up halfway, stretch your torso up, and fold forwards. Soften your knees, push your feet down, circle your hands overhead. Big breath in as you reach up. And hands to your heart. Circle your hands up, interlace them overhead. Press your palms to the ceiling, reach high. And reach over to the right. Come back up and reach over to the left. Back up, reach back, lift your ribs up, and reach your hands back. A small lift in the chin, not too much. And release, forward fold. Bend your knees, let your back release. And again, if you want your blanket for your knee, just slide it back behind you, or your towel, or whatever you have. And step your right foot back this time. Drop your knee down onto the floor or to the support you've put there for it. And rise up, hands onto your left knee. Start to move forward and down. Stretching into the right side more this time. As you inhale, square everything up. Left hip back, right hip forwards. Breathe in, lift your chest. Exhale, soften down. And like I said on the first slide, this feeling of starting to straighten your arms, just getting a back bend in here also. So your whole front body is benefiting from the stretch, from expansion. One more breath. And we'll switch to your half Hanuman. Your left foot flexes and your hands come down if you can to the floor or to books or blocks. And start to bow down on your exhales. Lengthening inhales. Deepening exhales. Bend your front knee. You can shorten distance. You can bring your foot back a bit if that helps you. Slide your right shin in behind your left heel and sit your way down to the floor. And if you like to cross your left foot over to outside of your right thigh, you can do. And if not, stay here with me. Right hand to left knee or right elbow to left knee and start to rotate to the left. Looking all the way back past your shoulder. Hooking the knee in towards the right shoulder. And you can turn it around to rotate the other way. Take your counter twist. And back to center. You can slide your blanket off while you're here. Come into your janu sirsasana, left foot off to the side of your space. Right foot still tucked in. Turn towards your right knee. Your right hand extends upwards and side stretch. Right hand towards the direction of your left foot. Using your left arm to help turn your collarbones up towards the ceiling. And just find a height that lets you feel a good stretch with no sensation of forcing. And you can sit up. And we're moving into Pigeon once again. And a reminder for those of you for whom Pigeon just doesn't work in your knee, Lizard is your alternative. We'll step that left foot back. And once you've got your left foot behind you, rock up to square. As I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I let you know you can put your blanket underneath your thigh in this if you feel like you keep tippling over that way. For a start, we'll puff the chest up. The back toes can untuck there. Let's focus on the left hip flexor, the hip crease here, getting the stretch. All the way through your belly, up into your chest also. And we'll take this down into sleeping pigeon. Soften down. Remember to not slouch over to the right. Keep your hips squared and soften down to your forearms. You can rest your head on your hands if that feels comfortable. Deep breaths. And long exhales. Come back up to your hands, please. You can shorten the distance, left foot creeping in. Stretch your right foot up towards the ceiling. Three-legged dog. Bend your right knee. Open that right hip up on top of the left. Press your arms and sink your left heel. Continue to look at your left foot or the middle of your mat. And reach your right knee as high up and the foot over as feels good. And we unwind this, bring both feet back down, or right foot back down, should I say, into a downward facing dog. And we'll lower the knees down to the floor. So if you do have a towel or blanket, grab it now, please. And you're going to create a roll with it. So whatever you can do with what you've got. And if you don't have anything at all, that's fine. You can take a constructive rest in the next pose. We're going to take this rolled blanket and have it lengthwise up and down our mats. And then turn around. Put your bum near the bottom of it, not on it. You're on your mat, and this is close so that when you lie back, this blanket sits in the little arch in the base of your spine. You can do this in a cross-legged pose if it's comfortable. And lie all the way back and let your head rest on the blanket. Cross legs, or if it's better for you, knees up or legs straight. Pick which one. You can try all three. Figure out what feels good for your hips. And then just let the shoulders relax. Let the hands rest by the sides, palms face up. Just a few breaths here. Once again, with the focus on expansion in the front of your body. You can close your eyes. Notice how you can expand your belly when you breathe in. As much as possible, get full. And exhale slowly. Be sure to not cut the exhale short. Continue to exhale till you're empty. Then expand into that space. And if you want to spend a bit longer here, you're welcome to do so. If you're ready to complete your practice, open the hands out big. Make fists. Circle your wrists. Take a stretch overhead as you breathe in. And come up to sitting while you breathe out. And take a breath in, sitting upright. And exhale once again. You can bring your hands up to prayer position in front of your chest. Take a deep breath in. Release a full exhale. Thank you for your practice. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this practice, please subscribe for more yoga videos and meditations.